Hello and welcome, race fans, into Tuesday night racing action, as we have some wonderful action indeed in store for all of you here tonight. We are live coming at you from the Monster Mile with this HCK Beagles Racing League 140-mile race here at Dover. All the bumping and grinding, it's gonna happen. Even more so, you gotta beware of Miles the Monster just gonna be chewing up and spitting these trucks right on out. Who's gonna come out on top and who's gonna go away and try to find the rest of their rig left in the junkyard? Well, we'll just have to wait and find on out. So let's get this party all started on off with the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And welcome back. As always, we have to say a huge shout out to all the great supporters of the HCK Beagles Racing League, and those would be tonight's race sponsor, PK Mowing, out there in Auburn, Indiana. Be sure to go check them on out, because it's that time of year to start cutting that lawn. You don't want to be out there getting all those allergens and sneezing and doing all of that. So be sure to go and check out BK Mowing, where they mow it your way. Also, big thank you to Abruzzi Racewear. Fantastic racewear for real life and sim life needs. Get your gloves, shirts, helmets, like literally anything, gloves, all that stuff. Be sure to go and check out Abruzzi Racewear today. Also be on the lookout over there at trackdogsracing.com and pick yourself up some fantastic HCK Beagles Racing League merchandise, and also AAA broadcasting merchandise like hats and shirts and whatever have you. As always, trackdogsracing.com, the premier merchandise supplier of the HCK Beagles Racing League and AAA broadcasting. Also have to say a big thank you to Chiefland RC Raceway down there in Florida. If you're into the whole RC racing stuff, whether it's the little buggies or the big old Traxxas slashes, be sure to head on down there and have yourself a whole boatload of fun down there at Chiefland RC Raceway. They were even trying to import some special clay from all over the country just to get that racing surface just right. So definitely be sure to go and check them on out. Also, big thank you to Sonic Graphic Design, fantastic paint schemes, as well as fantastic camera angles, all brought to you due to Sonic Graphic Design. And of course, I have to say a big time thank you over there to AdminBoxx, the premier button box solution for race control admins. Definitely go check them on out, for at the push of a button they can throw cautions, black flags, wave rounds, whatever they need to do. AdminBoxx, definitely the premier button box solution. As always, I am Alan Brown, and I didn't turn on my camera, but that's okay. I'm joined by two other people with me. one of which is Mr. Alan English down there in deep Louisiana. I know we didn't really get a chance to talk pregame here, there, Mr. English, but Monster Mile for 140 laps. These guys are going to have a tough battle here tonight. Alan?
What happened?
English? Well, we had English. We probably got some sound stuff going on here. But down there on pit road, we got Mr. Adam Turner as well after installing a window for a neighbor because, you know, those tornadoes will rip those things right on out, man. You got to make sure those are all installed just right. But we got an interesting race here at the Monster Mile, Adam. Tricky track, and that monster, man, it just absolutely grabs these things and chews them on up.
Yeah, the concrete's hard. It's hot out. It's going to be 1 mile, which these guys aren't really used to doing. They're super speedway guys for the most part. But yeah, I had to fix the window, you know, last minute repairs around here for the neighbor. I'm interested to see how these trucks will do at Dover. It's a 1 mile track. We got 140 laps, so that's 140 miles even in Louisiana. Hey, these guys are meant to race. They're going to have fun tonight. Hopefully somebody gets mad at somebody. I would assume they would. There's so many. How many trucks we have entered so far? Over 30 probably. So it should be fun. Here's the kicker though. 0 fast repair, 75% fuel, and 4 sets of tires. So that's kind of a problem. You're going to have to really pay attention to what's going on around you. With 0 fast repair, I don't know how they're going to be able to manage that. That's going to be tough.
That indeed. As we take a look here tonight at tonight's race info, these drivers in store for some beautiful racing weather here in Delaware. Track temp a little toasty, but I'm not too concerned about that one. However, these guys do have 140 laps to do, and that's going to change over time. It's going to be absolutely fun to watch. Bringing us down to tonight's key to the race, and man, Miles the monster, man, he just likes to eat up trucks and spit them right back on out. So tonight's key, stay away from that monster's grip. That outside wall is going to collect a few people. Some people are going to get loose down there coming out of these corners, especially out of 2 and 4. It's just going to be slipping and sliding fun for all.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Look, our race controller has given us some information on the YouTube land. It says 87 will be serving a 1 race suspension tonight. Ooh, that's pretty cool. That means somebody's got a little angry at somebody, hopefully. I didn't know that was happening. 34-66 will be getting an EOL to start tonight's race from last week's race. So here you go. Got penalties and anger. Man, too bad 87 not going to be here tonight.
Hey, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What
oh
happened?
My goodness! I had 2 unplugged cords. I don't know how that happened, but I'm glad to be with you guys.
You missed it.
Did you do the Adam Turner? You probably kicked it with your foot or something.
Yeah.
That's what I did when I was swiveled in my chair. I think I pulled this cord out and I pulled the cord out.
And y'all were making fun of me for doing that the other night with my monitor. Same scenario.
Guys.
All right, well, you're back. That's
I'm
good.
here.
Race hadn't even started. You hadn't missed anything just yet.
And we're sitting down here, down in the qualifying session right now. Herbie's Wild Ride. Well, that is our good friend Jonathan Herbert over there, getting that 1 race suspension. Just sometimes you need a week to cool off and regroup and get right back onto it. I know there's some real life NASCAR guys that wish the freaking Ross Chastain would get a suspension for a race just to cool him down.
Ooh, I like that guy.
Shots fired.
I like that guy. Look, don't feel bad. Listen, I've been almost suspended from several leagues for just doing broadcasting. So look, you're doing pretty good. You were actually racing, got a suspension. So that's like a badge of honor to me.
Either way, got about 4 minutes left here in qualifying. Cale Tuberville finishing up his run here. Pretty good run, launching himself up into the top 10. We'll, of course, go through and talk about where these drivers are going to start here in just a few moments. As always, we thank you all for tuning in and watching. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell, as we have officially crossed the 350 subscriber mark. We're sitting at 352. Man, oh man, that's awesome. We're glad to have each and every one of you on out here. And of course, as always, if you like any of the action, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button and let Mark Zuckerberg know that, you know, we ain't going away quietly. This is how we do things. If you know anything about Alan and Adam, they're not quiet.
We're here for the duration.
Yeah,
That's what I like.
they're here for long haul. The long haul.
I've been prepping for a long time because Bill Gates and Zuckerberg and those clowns are going to take over, and so I'm ready for the alien invasion. I'm ready to stick through it with y'all on AAA broadcasting. Yeah, I can't get into that right now, but regardless, I'm preparing for the moment, so we're going to stick with it and have some fun doing this iRacing with HCK Beagles Racing League. They have a lot of cool sponsors, a really cool league, and we have a lot of fun broadcasting. Hopefully, we'll have some fans out there tonight. We'll have some fun as well.
That indeed, so be sure to jump on in there in the chat. Let us know who your favorite driver is, and you know, we always love to communicate with all y'all and have some fun out there in the chat. I know league owner Gregory Turner, Little Rimmer, is currently out on the road. He might be watching, but he may not be able to quite type anything up just yet. But no, he's going to be out there and watching. Looks like the 44, David Wright, jumping on down there, putting in some qualifying laps, maybe some extra bonus practice laps. Pretty quick lap time around here, right around the 22-23 second mark. So these things are absolutely going to fly right on by once when we get things all started up and rolling here. And man, it's just I think it's going to be a fun race here. English, what are your thoughts here on the Monster Mile now that we got everything back up and running?
Well, we've seen a couple of guys here take their first qualifying lap just riding slow, going back and forth, trying to get some heat in the tires, and then taking that second lap as fast as they can. So I think that's a little bit of strategy that we didn't really plan on seeing here during the qualifying session. But a couple of these guys, hopefully they make that work for them. And David Wright's one of them. He took like his first 3/4 of a lap really slow and trying to get some heat in his tires. And in the race as a whole, I think it's going to be freaking awesome. We see nothing but great racing out of this this concrete oval here, and just a really, really neat racetrack. You got to be careful though. We talk about this in several different tracks. You know, about getting onto the apron, about the transition right there being very, very steep. The same is the case here at the Monster Mile. You get off that concrete onto that pavement apron, you're going to be in a world of hurt because you're not going to have any grip down there.
Well, one of you, I can't remember which one, made a good point. I think this is almost like just a larger Bristol, right? It's so fast due to the banking and stuff. It's pretty cool. So I think it makes for good racing.
Well, that it should be, and good racing is in store for everybody here as qualifying is done, and we send it on down here to pit lane where the starting grid's starting to jump into their trucks and get all lined on up. So let's do our official starting grid rundown and let everybody know where their favorite driver is going to be starting here tonight. The number one machine is going to be starting there in the number one spot. Nate Cogdale getting a good pole position start here tonight. He's your AdminBoxx Pole Award winner. We'll talk to him here in just a minute. The 39, Josh Freed, trying to come back from a pretty good race last week and get a good finish here tonight. He's starting up there in second. 13, Mark Beverly, part of that Beverly clan, getting things kicked off here in third. 64, Cale Turbeville, the man who will do anything for a Klondike bar. He will get started here tonight in fourth. The 15, Cody Staten, starting here tonight in fifth. 16 of Nick Gardner, one of the rookies here this season, getting things started off in sixth. The 42 of Team Captain Team America, Kevin Winker, getting things kicked off here in seventh. The 4 of Eric Stoy, trying to get a good finish here tonight, starting in eighth. Ninth will be Haas, the boss, the number one Beverly, He's driving the 22 machine, getting things started in 9th, with Randy Lapidus, one of the Lapidus guys, jumping on down there in the 14 machine, rounding out your starting top 10.
Row number 6 is going to be the 88 of Zach Staten on the inside and 7 of Brett Summers on the outside. Row number 7 is going to be Steven Naylor in the 5 and the 26 of J.A. Burton to his outside. Row number 8 is going to be Frank Ranger in the 17 machine. And to his right is going to be David Wright in the 44. Let's see. Row number 9, Neil Lapidus in the 41 and 86 of Jake Bunjo. And rounding out your top 20 here, row number 10 is going to be the 51 of Josh Moore and the 34 of Jesse Calloway.
All right, well, 32 Jordan Tarble. I don't know if he's going to be in here or not, but he's sitting, looks like 21st on my table. Tyler Beverly, another Beverly boy. 21st, Michael Newton. I know he's the race control. Double nickel, Tom Barish. Will be the end of the field. Look right there. Jonathan Herbert is suspended tonight, even though he's showing up on the board. I think he just got some practice laps in, and he's going to serve his suspension with us. So glad to have him at least watching with us.
And that indeedy. As we head on down here onto our starting grid, and we get to talk to some persons here. Let me just make sure I find his name. All right, there we go. So we get to talk with tonight's AdminBoxx Poll Award winner, and that's going to be Nate Cogdale. Oh gosh darn it. Dang Discord changing things all around. I have to physically drag people and do this and that. It's not as the pace truck's still out there, right?
No, it's down. Oh, they added it.
They added it. Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
As we talk with tonight's AdminBoxx Poll Award winner, that's going to be the number 1 machine, Nate Cogdale. Nate, congratulations on winning the pole position here tonight at a track that, man, the track position I think is going to be where it's all made and all that kind of stuff. You must be feeling pretty good starting up there.
Yeah, so far. Had a pretty good practice session. I don't know how it's going to work on the long runs. Well, I done got ahead of the pace car here, so I'm slowed down a little bit. But no, we got a pretty fast truck right now, so hopefully it'll work for our best tonight. We'll see what happens.
Well, Nathan, talk a little bit about no fast repairs here. So how important is it for you to stay in front here and stay out of traffic? Because you know that's where the damage is going to happen, right? So how hard are you going to be fighting up there tooth and nail to stay ahead of all the wrecks?
That's why I tried to qualify it as good as I did. I'm glad I got P1, so hopefully the rest of the race will go just as good as practice and qualifying, so we'll see.
All right, well, good luck to you. About to start this thing.
Thanks.
Come back down there with his team, AdminBoxx Poll Award winner, Nate Cogdale, as that pace truck dives on down into pit road. Coming out of turn number 4 is the field into that Geico restart zone, and away we go. Green flag racing for the first time here tonight at the Monster Mile. The 1 machine still going side by side with that 39 of Josh Freed. Freed had a great start there, but just not enough run up there on that outside lane. The 1 machine able to jump back on out in front. No issues there. Getting control back of the lead. Still side by side, though, go the 13 and the 64. Beverly and Turboville having a good fight up here inside this top 5.
Bunjo got it around, but he kept it straight and kept it up on the track. We're still green here.
And lost him a little bit of time, but it also means he's now got a whole track free of anybody around him. He can get things, especially those tires, all warmed up really without too much of a problem. Side by side go the 44 and the 26. David Wright and Jay Burton having a little bit of a battle there. Looks like David Wright able to hold on to that spot and move on up. 42, Kevin Winker kind of stuck in line right now, right in between the 15 and the 4. But not a whole lot of too wide going on here, boys. Pretty single filed out pretty quick.
Yeah, Nate Cogdale just set the fastest lap of the race there. Oh, he just did it again. He just beat it by 400. So 23:17, fastest lap of the race so far.
Well, I think this is what we have seen at Dover before. And we've watched trucks here, I believe. they'll single file out, and then we'll start to see tire wear, become an issue, and then we'll start to see a little fun stuff happen, like some passing and a little too wide. So this is typical of a Dover race early, and so far they're keeping it under control.
And of course, you mentioned about Nate Cogdell running the fastest lap, but how about all that room being had by the 86 Jake Bunjo?
Jake Bunjo,
driving angry, runs a 23:09 to pick up the fastest lap of the race here early on in this run. 16, Nick Gardner trying to hold off the 15 of Cody Staten here, trying to hang on to a top 5 position.
That's what clean air will do for you. And Jake had a bunch in front of him, so he said, well, if I'm going to play catch up, I might as well set some record breakers. So doing his best to catch the field here.
We got anybody out there in YouTube land watching?
Got a few folks out there. Herbie's Wild Ride, Reverend Slim is out there pulling for Jesse Calloway, saying Jesse's the most talented driver of our generation. I didn't know that. And he's handsome. Well, okay. Hear that?
We'll take your word for it. We ain't one to judge one's appearance. Speaking of the 34 machine, Jesse Calloway trying to do a 2-for-1 special here on Frank Ranger and the 41 of Neil Lapidus, sliding up a few extra spots there, almost creeping up into that top 15. So some good aggressive passing being made there by the hot spot 34 machine.
Herbie's Wild Ride also commenting, said, should be great racing track. Felt great in practice. Ran 70 laps with the guys. That's what's different about HCK's. The racing league, the guys take it serious, but they're not narcissistic. They help drivers get it right. They help each other. It's a community. So great to hear.
Yep. This is the only time I'd ever go to Delaware is to watch the Dover race here, and apparently go to Brandon Falls, that monument they have. It's 2 wonderful places in that tiny state that has produced not much of anything. But this track is really kind of fun.
Never heard of Brandon Falls. Is that like a park or?
Yeah, it's a park. It's kind of like
okay.
a national monument.
They
I
have
don't
bike
know.
trails and stuff there?
Yeah, it's a bike
Oh,
trail
I
with a
love that.
big monument. Yeah,
The,
pretty cool.
The pedal bike, not the motorbike there, English.
Yeah, bicycle.
That's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah.
Like bicycling trails, yeah.
It's a good place to fall.
The 7 of
All
Brett
right.
Sommers gets up underneath the 14 Randy Lapis to slide on up into a top 10, 10th place right now. Everybody, man, they're just racing within their heads right now, just keeping it smooth, keeping it clean. They know that this track will chew you up and spit you right back on out, and it seems like, tire wear, we're already here on lap 13. The tires are really, they're not like bad yet, but you're starting to feel that wear kind of trickle on in now, and I think these guys are kind of seeing what they got here as Josh Freed looking down underneath that one machine of Cogdell, going side by side, racing for the lead here as they cross the line.
Tell you what, man, I didn't expect to see this many green flag laps run right off the top here.
Yeah.
They're out there making it happen, though, man. We're what, 15 laps in now?
Yeah,
Great job
normally
by the drivers.
we see somebody get loose on those cold tires. I think we're going to see something happen as we get some wear on the tires, but so far, yeah, they are doing a really, really nice job of keeping it together. As Cogdale has slipped into, who's he behind there? Freed?
Yeah,
Freed
he's
and him
behind
having a pretty
Freed.
good battle.
They had a great battle, and Freed sticking with that bottom line ends up getting the pass and the run eventually. But that battle took a solid 3 or 4 laps there to get things all figured on out. So don't expect that one to go away anytime soon. As Freed, Cogdale, and Mark Beverly mark your top 3 right now. Turbeville, Gardner, and Staten slowly trying to catch their way on back up here and try to get their names into the hat for a podium finish here tonight. Asa Boss, he's racing against Kevin Winker and Brett Sommers right now. Nice little kind of group in action going on. 22 machine looking pretty slick in that green and purple.
These guys are going to have to regulate these tires. They're going to have to ration them out. They've only got 3 extra sets of tires here after the start of this thing. So what are you thinking, guys? You're going to have to get almost 50 laps out of a set. I mean,
It's going to be tough.
No, that's not true.
Well,
Because you got the set you start on. So you're gonna
well,
have
either
4
way,
sets,
it's still
right
a
over
tough,
140. Yeah, 40
tough
laps.
task.
Yeah,
It's tough because the track is hot. It's 96 right now.
that's going to be a tough.
It was
tough
hotter
task.
earlier, so. Hey, that's why they're out there driving. They got to manage those tires and figure out when they're going to utilize the stops and all that. Especially if we stay green flag, that'll be real interesting.
Man, how about that 86 with the man with the best name in iRacing, Jake Bunjo? Wait, he started back there in 18th, hits the wall and goes to the very tail end of the field and even loses the pack for a minute. Well, he's now up 4 on the day, up to 14th, man. Whew. I'm sure his tires are starting to scream at him a little bit here, like, hey, man, I know you made a mistake. Come on down. We got to last this whole run, but looking pretty good in that Philly Fanatic machine right now.
Pretty cool looking truck. He's definitely got to pace himself, though. It's just a long race. 140 laps here at Dover. Might feel like 300 to these guys by the time everything's said and done.
Yeah, you definitely can, kind of wear those tires out faster the harder you run. And looks like we're starting to see that. The 13 is backing off. Nick Gardner's making the pass on him. Mark Beverly's went high in the corner, so might be an issue of where his tires are just not holding out.
As we ride up here on the nose camera of KL Turboville, you can see that Bronco Race Designs 13 of Mark Beverly sitting right there in front of him. And, of course, Nick Gardner up there in third as they can watch some crazy action going on. Also looks like lap traffic starting to come into play here. Some of the slower guys here at the tail end, like the 45 of Tyler Beverly, going a lap down right now, trying to regroup and regather up their speed. And that's what's always makes a track like this fun. So you get your pit stop transitions of people going in and out, and that's where you see a lot of traffic. And then you get some stuff like this where just some guys, short track racing may not necessarily be their thing, and they run a little bit slower here, and that's starting to come into play now.
Yeah, and this thing is no slouch. This is a 1 mile track, so lap traffic appearing this early, that's wasn't exactly what I expected. If we were at Martinsville or Bristol or something, I would say by lap 20 you're going to see some lap traffic, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's to be expected here, even at the 1 mile tracks.
Well, I mean, if you remember when you and I used to race, I definitely would be passed at this point on a short track. So they're pretty tough. This track is definitely tough. So
yeah,
if you haven't put in a lot of time in the seat here, you will have a little difficulty gaining speed. But they're keeping it clean now. That's what's cool.
If you don't have your line figured out by this point, you're way, way, way behind. Yeah. 17 got wicked loose there. Frank Ranger. Able to stay out of trouble, though. Still green.
Stayed low, yeah.
You got the W machine there of Ranger running a little slow now after getting things all gathered back on. Tyler Beverly's going to have a chance to move up a position here, trying to catch on up to that 17, who's looks like he's been to Darlington, missing a good bit of paint up there on the right-hand side of that truck.
Yeah, you don't need all that paint. That doesn't give you any downforce or horsepower.
You probably actually lose a little weight off the truck getting rid of some of that.
Hey, but the sponsors give you all that money, though.
That's true. You don't want to anger the sponsor. So we try not to. That's why we're trying to do some outreach with some beer companies, get our own sponsors. And we have some great ones here. AdminBoxx, TrackDogsRacing.com.
Yeah.
All those guys. So I'm not sure, but I do know one thing. I was out there working on that window late in the afternoon. Rutabaga.
I don't know. Is that what he made? He made rutabagas?
Did he
I don't
chop up a
understand.
rutabaga with like broken glass or something? I don't know, but Wild Turner steps away to refill his cup and beverage of choice. The 44 machine of David Wright passes the 7 of Brett Sommers, moving himself on up into 9th, up 7 spots on the day. So Wright kind of quietly moving up a good chunk of positions here. He's now going after the 15, Cody Staten, moving on down low. I think maybe David did the old, hey, you guys run your tires out. I'm just going to sit back here and be calm, cool, and collected and see you guys here at the end of this run.
Yeah, he's playing the long game, and he's doing a great job at it. Up quite a few spots here, 7 positions so far, sitting in 9th. Now he just took 8th from Brett Sommers, so great job by David Wright and the 44 machine to work the field there.
And we mentioned it a little bit earlier about the, kind of the traffic going on out here. Well, it's definitely helped out that 39 of Josh Freed, who's in a different zip code right now, about 2 seconds in front of the rest of this entire field, as the 1 of Cogdale and the 16 of Gardner are traveling nose to tail here. Beverly and Turville not too far behind them, but I got a feeling, maybe Nate the Great back there used up a little bit of that rubber trying to get a quick start, and that's starting to hurt him a little bit.
Yeah, Josh Freed is just looking at his relative box right now going, well, let me just maintain the gap for a little while and make sure these guys don't get too close. He's keeping about a 2-second gap right now, so he's looking okay right now in the 39.
And that, indeed, as we're here on lap 35, man, I love these 1 mile tracks like this where it's high speed. These laps just absolutely tick right on away as the 16 looks down low on the 1, trying to maybe make a pass. Not going to quite get the run there, but he's going to peek back down there here again in turns 3 and 4. And it looks like the 1 machine will lift and give him the position, maybe adjust for a crossover. No, the 16 slides on up into 2nd. A little bit of tire smoke there as the 16 maybe gets onto those brakes a little hard, moving on down into turn 1.
Yeah, the more green flag laps we see here early, the more spread out everybody gets, and the less likely we're going to have any yellows here anytime soon, which means green flag pit stops are going to be soon upon us. These guys got to be careful, too, because this may be a short track, but they're still pulling butt around here doing 160 miles an hour plus. And then they got to get it down to 35 miles an hour on the pit lane. So you really got to practice your pit entry and stuff during practice. You can't practice it now. It's too late, boys. So if you're going to make some green flag stops, hopefully you put in a few practice stops. It's going to be tough.
And that it will be, as we have our first taker down there, Tyler Beverly in the 45 machine, getting some work done to that truck. Maybe he snagged that outside wall one too many times and having to get some manual damage. Oh, it's a 64 and the 13 make door-to-door contact there, sliding in and out of each other. And here comes that 44. We mentioned him being quiet. Well, he ain't quiet no more. He's sliding on up here into the top 5, making the pass here on the 13 of Mark Beverly. And now trying to chase down that 64 of Cale Turbeville.
Yeah, like you said, the 44 been saving his tires and minding his P's and Q's back there, and now he's got a little bit better rubber than some of these other cats on the track.
Some good racing so far. See somebody took the pit, huh? Tyler?
Yeah, Tyler. It looked like he might have had some had a little bit of damage he got done. About a 50, almost a 1 minute pit stop there. Which, that's okay. These races can go one of two ways. It can either be an absolute cluster with cautions or have what we got here right now, and everything's been clean and free moving. So He's not quite out of it, even though he's a few laps down now. You never know what's going to happen here by the end of these races as Neil Lapidus, Jesse Calloway, and Steven Naylor race around here for some top 15 spots right now.
Man, I'd just like to finish this race if I was out there. It's a tough track. It really puts the wear on you with the tires and the heat. And you start slipping and sliding, you got to really have skill to keep that thing straight.
So, Adam, let us know, what did you make with the rutabaga that you had earlier?
Oh, what I made put a window in, and I had to wash my hands because I came in dirty. I had dust all over me from, doing carpentry.
What? Oh, man. Oh, Frank Ranger hard up into the outside wall there in that 17 machine. Got some traffic now moving underneath him. That's the 39 of Josh Freed, putting him another lap down. That 17 machine has seen that wall quite a few times here as he's trying to make his way to the first round of pit stops, which, I mean, we're here on lap 44, boys. Do you think they're trying to run it all the way to lap 50?
I think so. I mean, cut it into almost thirds there.
Well,
50, 100, and yeah, you're good.
Here comes that 4 of Eric Stoy down onto pit road. One of our first takers here on the lead lap. That's going to be doing his pit stop, getting some fresh rubber, some more racing fuel, and jumping on back on out there. Oof, Cogdale running into the back of the 17, who's up into the outside wall. That's going to scrub a whole chunk of speed off of the 17 machine there. So one tries to move on through some of that traffic.
Yeah, and as people come in and out of the pits with green flag pit stops, we're going to see probably some action coming in and out. I could be some issues.
Yeah, as we got, oh boy, right behind Josh Freed here. It's second place. Nick Gardner having a beating, banging fest down there. Woo, dog, that got squirrely.
Yeah, and that's going to happen as we continue these green flag pit stops. Fresh tires, old tires, they don't mix very well.
Oh, the 44 of David Wright, after moving up 13 spots on the day, up into a podium third place right now. Scrapes that outside wall. Thankfully, he's able to get it off before too much damage got put onto that truck. And he's still out here running up on that podium, trying to chase down that 16 of Gardner.
Man.
Looks like we're getting some more and more takers down there on pit road. Jake Bunjo, Randy Lapidus, and Jay Burton now making their way on down onto pit road. Brett Sommers did take a pit back there on lap 46 as well, so he's hit his green flag pit stop. So strategy here tonight, fellas. This is going to be a thing, I think.
I love seeing it, especially this early. The thing you got to worry about is guys are coming in, guys are going out. You're going to have guys on old tires, guys on new tires. Everybody's got to share the same racetrack. This is going to be wild here for a little bit.
And that indeed is Freed, Wright, Turbeville, Winker, Staten, Mark Beverly, Steven Naylor, all coming on down into the pits here on at the completion of lap 50. So Nick Gardner, Nate Codnell, got Cody Staten, and Haas the Boss Beverly all staying on out here. Some of our final few drivers yet to take to the to their pits. Frank Ranger as well, not yet coming on down, but he's probably looking at coming on down here in just a moment as well. As here comes Cogdell and Staten, and it looks like maybe no Gardner, not quite yet.
Matt Bunjo is out there pulling for Stealth Motorsports. Mr. Josh King pulling for Kaylee. Or Kale, I'm sorry. Kale with a bunch of E's. Sorry. Haley Spires pulling for Kale. Shauna Flick saying, "Go Winker, hashtag Winker Nation."
Reading is hard.
I mean, I'm telling you, it's really hard for me.
Did you put in a full day of work today? Is that
Yes,
why
I
you're
did. Yeah.
Are you making more beer for America? Because that's what we
Absolutely.
need. Okay, good.
A chili pepper honey beer today. So
Yeah, that'll drink. I'll take some of that.
we'll see.
You're doing God's work, in my opinion. So I appreciate it.
The wort was good, but I tell you what, my eyes were watering and my nose was running from cleaning out the kettles. That was a lot of serrano and jalapeno peppers chopped up in there. What you got, bud?
Nothing. I'm just saying that's spicy.
Oh yeah, that was spicy.
What else is spicy is that 41 of Neil Lapidus out here in the lead right now, yet to come on down. Man, he is just losing time and time the longer he is staying out at this point. As Eric Stoy in the 4 machine, he's looking to try to chase him down. About 10 seconds left, and we're talking almost a full 2 seconds worth of difference out there on the racetrack and lap times here now too.
Starting to get even more spread out, I think, than what it was before. I didn't think we'd see this here at Dover, especially after watching, previous races that we've seen here at this track. I thought we'd see a lot more beating and banging and more cautions, more guys making pit stops under caution. But wow, this adds a really cool new dynamic.
That it does, as we take a look at the back end here of the 4 of Eric Stoy, and you can see right there that 39 Josh Freed coming up like a man possessed trying to chase down this number 4.
Thank you so much to Tower Operator for being here as well, saying good evening. Thank you for joining us here, Bruce. You guys, if you like what you're seeing here tonight over there on the YouTube channel, give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so anytime we go live with some racing action, you'll get a little notification on your computer or your cellular phone or your
Tablet.
Your what?
You get tablet?
Your chalkboard?
Yeah,
Your,
tablet, right? I don't know. And don't they
race?
call them tablets now? Like an iPad?
Like a Big Chief tablet? Like
No,
that kind of tablet?
no, not a number 2 pencil. I'm
Oh.
sorry I confused you. You were doing so well, and then
I'm so slow.
I ruined it.
You're talking about the thing that Moses came down of the mountain with, right? The two tablets, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's made of
and also
stone.
take a couple of tablets in the morning for my blood pressure.
I do the same.
Not the same.
It's the American way. Man.
Don't know where to take it from there. So we'll
Yeah, we're lost.
talk about this
I
race
know.
for the lead here
Good
between the
racing.
4 and the 39. Some really good racing here. So 39 trying to set up the 4. Looks like he's getting the nose down underneath him here. Yes, it is. So here we go, side by side racing once again for the battle of the lead here as they come back across the line here on lap 61. We're coming up on about halfway to go, and we're already almost there, fellas. As the 4 and the 39 continue to battle it on out. They're almost 3 seconds clear of that 44 of David Wright, who I got to wonder if he's maybe going to start turning and burning here, or if he's going to do the same strategy and save some of the tires as Freed retakes control of the race up there, up at the front. The 44, the 1, and the 13, as well as the 64, still having a pretty solid race here. All 4 of them, all within half a second of each other, trying to chase each other down. Here comes the 1 making a move down low. Oh, that gets the door shut on by the 44.
Reverend Slim joining us out there in the YouTube land saying, Jesse Calloway, the driver of the 34, lost his pet hamster 2 days ago now. So the fact that he's able to keep it together and race tonight is a testament to his determination and mental constitution. It's never easy losing a family member, because that's what our pets are, right? I mean,
He said a hamster. I don't know what he's talking about. That's not a family member. That's a rat.
Well, that's a pet. That's a pet, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
What,
mean, I feel
would
the
you
same way.
consider it like your dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
We used to have gerbils and stuff too, man. We felt the same way about them, and we played with them outside their cage and aquarium, and you know.
Those
They
things,
didn't want-
those things lived a lot longer than you'd thought too.
Yeah.
You'd thought they'd only live a couple years. Man, I knew somebody who had a guinea pig guinea pig was damn near 16 years old. Like, holy crap.
What?
Yeah.
No.
It was huge too. You those like extra large bag of potatoes you get at the grocery store? It was like, one of those potatoes, just absolutely massive.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
man, I was inconsolable when I lost my 3 jellyfish too. That was,
Ooh.
I know that.
You lost them? Oh, no.
Well, I can't really say it.
didn't
Well,
know.
didn't lose. They died.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we're thinking about you though, Jesse. Stay with it, bud. Keep busy. That's probably the best thing. You
I
can do.
don't know what's happening here. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Fill him with a beer. Oh, as we got one going around, the 86 gets turned by the 88.
Oh.
And that's going to bring out the
What?
yellow flag.
Buncho spun about 12 times there. I don't know what happened to him.
Mm. Well, if you have one here, it's usually pretty big.
Holy crap, though. Almost lap 70 before we got a caution.
That's pretty good, right?
Incredible racing here at Dover tonight.
Looks like the 7 and the 86 were racing side by side coming out of turn number 4. And I think the 86 was going to push up the track, so he lifted a little bit. 88 with really nowhere to go, gets up underneath the 86 and just catches that quarter panel, spinning that 86 on around and around and around and around and around. And thankfully the 86 doesn't look like he hit any walls or anything, just kind of slid around quite a bit. And thankfully he'll be able to get things all locked back up underneath him here and regather the troops as we have our first caution of the evening here about halfway through.
It's a full pit maneuver, and if I know any Philadelphia fan, like I think I know Jake Bunjo is definitely a Philadelphia fan, they are rowdy. So he may not have appreciated that pit maneuver he just got. I know it might have been just an accident, but I think he might be a little upset right now with his little mascot on the hood.
Does the team of the 88 need to be watching out for AA batteries being thrown their way?
Oh my God, they're just animals up there in Philly. They don't care. They'll yell mean things about your mom and throw batteries at you. What in the world?
You
It didn't
remember
hurt
when they
Jake
had
too much. Jail in the Veterans Stadium. Yeah, I remember that.
Well,
Is that what you're gonna go with?
no, they had a football game down in New Orleans, and everybody was throwing beer bottles on the field. And then, like the same weekend, they did it in Philly. This was years ago when I used to watch the National Football League.
Yeah.
We had a team down here called the Saints. I don't know if y'all ever heard of them.
The Saints?
Yeah.
Were they around at the same time as the Oilers?
Oh my God, you're gonna get me on the Oilers. Oh, yeah, the Saints and the Oilers were around at the same time. Saints were terrible. The Oilers they got pretty good there for a while.
How many Super Bowls did the Oilers win?
They have 0 because they got stolen
Saints
by
won.
some town in Nashville. That was given to them because of Katrina. It was
yes.
scripted, but they got stolen in the middle of the night by Bum Adams. I don't want to get into it.
Let's talk to a guy who's been stealing away a couple of positions here, and that's the 44 of Mr. David Wright, up 14 on the day. And David, man, we were saying, it's a quiet move up until it wasn't quiet, man, sliding your way up onto a podium right now. Looking pretty good. Was it the strategy, save tires, and kind of wait for the long run, or what's going on over there for the 44 team?
Yeah, the line I like to run and everything is a long run line, and I knew if we could get some long runs that I felt like in the long run my truck would be faster, and in that first stint it paid off. And I know right now the trucks behind me are going to all be on new tires, so not going to race them too hard, obviously, but at the same time, I know they got to stop again, and I got to stop again, and I still gonna have one more set left in the pits for that late caution. So good to go.
Well, you got a great plan out there. The Prestige Racing Chevrolet Silverado out there making some great moves. Good luck here the rest of the race here there, Dave.
I'm sorry. Race control's talking in my ear, and I couldn't hear what you said.
Nah, you get to go, man. Good luck the rest of the way.
All right, appreciate it.
Getting him back down there into his lonely team chat. Currently one of the only drivers there right now, all loaded into Prestige Racing, but having a heck of a night here for that 44. As Caleb Tuberville once again assaults that blue cone.
He hates it, just like I hate cones.
Hey, it's, you know how they say bulls see red? Does Cale just see blue?
He
Maybe.
might.
It makes him enraged when he sees the blue cone.
Nonetheless, we get things all stacked back up and ready to rumble here with the lights on that pace truck turned on off. The 4 of Eric Stoy going alongside here with the 44. David Wright getting things all started on up. Mark Beverly and Josh Freed up there as well as they make their way coming out of turn number 4 into that Geico restart zone. We go back to green flag race, and oh my goodness, look at that torque pull that the 4 machine had. He changed 6 different lanes while trying to put the power down. He's still out in front though as the 44 tries to get his nose up underneath him there. Looks like he will. Who's going to get the run coming out of turn number 2? And it looks like it's going to be even Steven here as they head on down the back straightaway, now down into turns number 3 and 4 as we get another yellow here as Brett Sommers has a little bit of an issue.
I think the 44 was ahead when the yellow flag dropped. What happened to Summers there?
Sure.
That's a great question. Let's take a look, see it back, and kind of see what happened here with that 7 machine. Oh, that is some net code if I never saw some.
Yeah, that it was, but I think they were going
They were, I think, yeah, the 22 trying to extend out of the corner a little bit here. That's Hoss Beverly and gets snagged up by the 7. And, well, I mean, it was there. I think there was going to be contact, but I don't think the 22 would have spun around like that. You know, it's kind of like it looked like the pivot point was way back there when, I mean, the 7 was all the way up to the 22's door. And I mean, you could have fit a whole fully dressed Harley down through that gap when the 7 and the 22 started reacting to each other. And unfortunately there for both drivers, receiving a little bit of damage there. Oh, trying to squeeze on through. Who was that? Looks like that was the 26 machine. Jay Burton trying to shoot the gap. Let's see what kind of gap he had looking up here. Oh, he couldn't really see anything. It was just smoke show galore, and he did his best. And he did scrape the inside wall a little bit, but for the most part, that was the only damage he got, and it wasn't too bad.
Man. Cautions breed cautions. Was that kind of?
Yeah,
I think
I was trying to avoid that.
Well, we have to. It's a
But
cliche.
We
but
have to
it's
talk about it.
It's actually true. I mean,
It's absolutely true.
it's kind of like the broadcaster curse, you know.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of is, but I mean, you also, you know, it's iRacing breeds cautions being, you know, just for whatever reason, these trucks, man, it's like their hitbox is 18 feet wide, and these trucks are only about 5 feet wide.
Yeah, English. Why don't you explain to the audience what the hitbox is?
Oh, how the turns have tied.
Thanks. Yeah, that's pretty
Exactly. That's pretty
But,
good.
yeah, man, the hitbox is, you know, so when these games are programmed, or these simulations in this case, you know, all these polygons, these shapes are programmed in, and it's hard to do collision detection on vehicles that are running on different machines, you know, thousands of miles away. But iRacing does their best to try to calculate, okay, well, this truck is now hitting this other truck, you know, and you know they do the best they can with the math, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. And when you see like a 2 or 3 foot gap in between two trucks, and all of a sudden one of them goes flying through the air, yeah, that's what we call net code. The hitbox on the trucks wasn't right. Calculations that iRacing made weren't right, and somebody usually gets kind of mad. But I mean, what can you do?
I mean, exactly. What can you do? So that was a great explanation there.
That was a terrible explanation.
I don't know. I
don't
think
even know
I
if
threw
it was
you off,
right.
and then Brown threw you off.
Yeah,
even more.
I was taken by surprise.
It was pretty funny. But I'll tell you my favorite paint scheme right now, Mark Beverly in a Bronco Race Designs truck. It looks like the old Rusty Wallace, but it's...
The 13? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, that's my favorite too. It was the old
neat.
MGD.
Yep. Old
Miller
MGD paint.
Genuine Draft.
But he's kind of made it his own or whatever.
I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
That's a true throwback when you can, do a paint scheme that everybody recognizes it, immediately.
Yeah.
But then you make it your own sponsor or your own name or something,
Yeah,
It's
like
really,
they did
really
in Darlington over the last weekend.
Yep.
In NASCAR, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, indeed. As we get all lined up, stacked back up, and ready to go racing here, let's head on down to the racetrack, give our voices a break, and let these trucks do all the yelling and screaming for us as we head on down there and get things all restarted here and crank it up. Man, oh man, as always, talk about some wonderful sounds coming out of these machines as the 4 goes up underneath the 13 of Mark Beverly, trying to squeeze up a couple more positions there for Eric Stoy. Josh Freed out in front, Cale Turbeville in tow, Nick Gardner up there as well. Of course, we talked with that 44, David Wright here. He wasn't going to try to challenge these guys too much as they are on those fresher set of tires. Here comes the one machine of Nate Cogdell as well, that 44. On a little bit older tires. It's not crazy difference here. It's only about it's about half a run of almost 20 laps worth of difference in the tire strategy here. But you can best be sure that 44, he's got one extra set all stored on up there, all ready to go if this thing comes on down to a interesting finish here on lap 83 out of 140. A little under 60 laps remain.
Yeah, I got a little bit of contact out there between a couple of trucks on different tire strategies here, but it's good to see that 14 of these trucks are still on the lead lap. Steven Naylor in the 5, currently your first truck 1 lap down. He's not racing against anybody else except for maybe the guy that's in front of him here, he's hoping the leader doesn't pass somebody else so he can remain the lucky dog candidate.
And that indeed, as the 4 of Stoy trying to hang out in front here of the 7 of Brett Sommers. We saw the 42. Kevin Winker was having a little bit of an issue there while we were kind of away on the Crank It Up segment. He was kind of fighting a little bit of a tight and a loose car at the same time. So the 42 machine trying to find his rhythm around here as the 15, Cody Staten, with the 88 of Zach Staten blocking the path of the 34 of Jesse Calloway here, trying to move up a couple spots. Is the 88. Looks like he will sneak up in front of his brother here.
Getting ready to make something happen here. Josh Freed continues to put on a short track clinic out here as he stays in front of the 64 of Cale Tuberville, at least for now.
Well, when we were talking with Bunjo last week at the completion of the race, both he and Josh, hailing from like that kind of Philadelphia area, this is essentially their home track. You would think the Poconos. No, Pocono is a little bit out there. That one's a little closer to Ohio than it is Dover. Dover's pretty much just across the bridge over there in Philly.
No, I know about Pocono. That's where your buddy, your friend, your teammate just smashes you right there in the tunnel turn.
You know what?
Just destroys your race.
Abuse. I'm tired of this abuse. You wanna hash it out in person? I'm ready for you.
All right, let's do it.
I think this is Doris. Doris Sells.
Ooh, Mark Beverly's around.
Hey, Burton, let's go.
Ooh, and that's going to bring out the caution out there in the middle of the racetrack. So it was looks like maybe the monster was sleeping here for the first half of this race, but coming on into the second half, it's woken on up as we take a look what happened here. Ooh, little bumpage there. Looks like from the 14 machine, just getting into that corner panel here. Let's jump on up into the chopper camera and get a closer bird's eye look of this. Just a difference of speeds. I think the 14 may not have been ready for the 13 to be checking up so much for the corner, and quarter panels touch, and the 13 goes for the ride.
A little different opinion out there.
Yeah, I like this. They're 14 and 13. They're not getting along. I'm going to tell you what I saw out there because I was watching it as it happened. The 13 was a little bit slow. I think another Beverly passed him, and he was running a little slow and came back down in the racing line. And I don't know. I think the 14 might have just miscalculated the speed of the 13.
Yeah, Lapidus and Beverly definitely not seeing
eye to eye.
the incident the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So do we got the Lapidus clan versus the Beverly clan heading on out there now?
Which one's from Ohio?
Beverly's.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm a little afraid of them. I'm not going to get involved with them Ohio boys again. I already did that once, and we saw what happened with that in a different league.
Lapidus guys are from Indiana. I mean, that's
I don't know anything.
right next door.
Yeah, but they're not as tough, are they? In Indiana?
Don't be telling them that.
Well, I'm not going to say anything bad about.
I knew a guy from Gary that could.
Well, Gary, Indiana, that's like Chicago, man. You might as well. You got 2 switchblades in each pocket. And you got a pistol in the back of your waistband. Yeah, that's a little different. That's like Chicago. I don't know about the rest of Indiana.
I knew a guy from Gary that could bench press a freaking Volkswagen in each hand.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll have Ohio, Indiana fight. I like that. That's a battle of the Midwest.
And of course, don't leave out the Staten brothers either. I'm sure I think they're staying out of this fight. They'll maybe pick up the loser of that one.
Yeah, Team America's still on top. Yeah. There's so many family feuds out here. This is what I like to see. A family feud. That's what we saw in that one league, remember? Ooh, man. Ohio boys are feisty. Huh?
Darius Sells. That's how you say Darius's name. Darius Sells. Thank you for that, Darius.
Right.
Add on the YouTube chat.
Man,
Reading is hard. Spelling is hard for me. Sorry.
that's okay. You still contribute in many other ways.
Sometimes.
Well, I don't know if that's going to play out the little fight for the rest of the race or not, but we shall see. I think they're both lined up still close to each other, so that ought to be fun.
Yahtzee.
Oh, that indeed. As the lights on the pace truck turn on off as we get all restacked and racked back ready to head on out for some green flag racing. Cale Turbeville gonna get things started off here up at the front. 88 of Zach Staten with the 15 Cody Staten. Man, he's surrounded by those Staten brothers. Getting things all kicked on off. The 7 of Brett Sommers starting up here in the top 4 as well. The 22 of Haas the Boss up there. Same thing with the 16, Nick Gardner, Jesse Calloway, Josh Freed, Nate Cogdell, and Eric Stoy. All up there inside of that at top 10. Just outside of it, David Wright there in 12, picking up a pit stop there, getting back on some fresh tires here. About 50 or so laps remain. So these guys can make it to the end here, Adam.
Yeah, they can make it to the end, but have they banked an extra set just in case of something crazy?
Well,
that's going to be the key.
I know the 44 David Wright has.
All right,
and that's all I know.
That might be something to watch for.
And neat as they come on out of turn number 4, and here we go back to green flag. Oh, the 7 scraping the outside wall, kind of checking up that high side just a little bit as the 64 machine squeezes on through and gets command here of this race. 15 Cody Staten hanging on there in second as the 7 gets rumbling and bumbling back up to speed. Side by side go the 39 and the 88. Same thing here with the 7 and the 16. You've got a couple too wide racing going on now as things really starting to heat on up. If we started here tonight, it started off as a 5. I think we're starting to creep up on about an 8 here, Adam.
Yeah, they're starting to get real racy. Everybody's kind of finding their own way right now. Look at them. It looks like the freeway in Dallas right now in rush hour. It's crazy.
And 39 almost taking it 3 wide there with the 16 and the 7, trying to move up all the positions that he can. He does get clear of that 16 machine as the 64 and the 15 try to drive their way on out of that whole kerfuffle of traffic. 34 Jesse Calloway still hanging around there up on the outside lane side by side with the 4 and the 44. Kind of stuck in a little bit of traffic right now. Same thing with the 1 and Nate Cogdale trying to make his way up through some of this traffic here as well.
Man, still a little too wide. I think we're going to see another one here in a little bit. If they keep racing like this, we may see another incident. But
it's a guarantee.
Tough racing. We still have roughly 42 laps to go. But yeah, I think everybody's starting to figure it out. They want to move up the track.
And that they are still too wide. Go the 16 and the 15. Gardner and Staten right behind them. Side by side is the 1 and the 44 machine. All 4 of these guys have been here pretty competitive, especially in this late stage here of this race as Cale Turbeville had about a 2-second lead, and he just got absolutely manhandled and chased down by that 39 of Josh Freed, sliding his way back on up into that number 1 position here. Is man, the side-by-side 3 wide action heading on down there, down through turns 3 and that was turns 1 and 2. How did they make that work there, Alan? I didn't think you could go 3 wide here.
I didn't think you could either, but they held it. And the 44 definitely split the difference there. And what a great piece of driving by all of those drivers. You know, not just the one that made it out, but everybody. That was great.
Yeah, the sun's starting to set on the track. Let's see if it's cooling down. 88, cooling down a little bit.
Yep.
That does help with the stickiness. Hopefully they can get a little bit more grip out of this track up here in Dover, Delaware. On the list of states, I give it number 50
In
But this-
what category?
of presidential people, presidents from states.
You know, there are
It's
some
number
states
50.
that haven't had a president.
Yeah, I'm still saying it's 50. But other than that, I'm sure it's wonderful. I don't know. This track is cool. I don't know anything else about Delaware. Other than that, the monument of Brandon Falls. I mean,
Well, I think the union has got a good head on their shoulders. They haven't elected anybody president for Louisiana, so that's probably a pretty smart call.
yeah, I'll give it that. Yeah, we probably don't need one of that type of corrupt down there.
I think
We
I'd
have
do pretty
other
good.
corrupt. Sure, I'd vote for you.
Nah,
Yeah. We'll start it here. English
I'm
for
corrupt.
president.
I'm corrupt already.
You're corrupt with cold beer. That's about it. You got a good heart and a good soul. I'd vote for you.
Oh, that's sweet.
I know. Isn't that nice?
don't
You're
mean
worried
that.
about people's hamsters.
Sure. Well, Big Donnie says, Kale texted his mom at 6:30, check for updates and make sure that he even had the Dover track. Many practice laps. So, thank you, Big Donnie. Brian Torcha says that he'll be back next week. Pull for David Wright out there saying, represent Prestige Worldwide Racing out there for us.
Did they put
you go.
glue on a bee?
No, it's liquid paper.
Oh, that's right.
And it died.
Science.
Putting in the man hours.
Yeah, apparently they are.
Yeah. Oh, a little action here as the 16 gets super sideways after contact.
Oh,
you
even more
smacked
so.
it.
Ah, I thought he had it down there trying to dirt track it, but that's going to bring out the caution. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Steve Naylor just missing that one. Jake Bunjo involved in that one as well.
Nick Gardner, he just couldn't hold it down and bounced back up the track. And it was going to stay green until he slid up into the track, and there wasn't nothing he could do.
He got pit maneuvered as well.
That one, I think he came down a little bit.
Well, nonetheless,
Replay.
one of the Beverly guys, he wasn't real happy, but I think it was Haas, the boss. He wasn't real happy. You don't want to anger too many Ohio guys at one time. That could be, we could have a rumble,
They stick
Royal
together.
Rumble in the middle of the track after this thing. Short track racing, man.
Here we go. Pits are alive here.
Yeah,
Less
they
trucks will
are.
come.
Few people
Is
maybe.
this the money stop here?
Well, so a lot of these guys, they were good to make it here after their last pit stop there, right around lap 90. Well,
Okay.
So I think they're coming in, maybe topping up on some fuel, maybe taking that last extra set of tires if they saved them on up. I know, like the 44 David Wright, he had that extra set all saved on up. Same thing with a few other drivers out there. So I guess you could call it the money stop. Don't expect these guys to come on down in after this one, other than to get some damage repaired and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, just have to wait and see what's in store for these drivers here.
Well, maybe some anger. That might be in store. English.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you tell the people at home what you think is going to happen here at the end of this race?
So far, this race has really surprised me with all the green flag action that we've seen. I think it might be because the lower truck count than I initially thought.
Yeah, I think
There
we're
would
at
be
20.
25,
trucks.
yeah, 20 or 24.
20 gridded, right? I think we had
Oh, okay,
several
yeah,
not
20
gridded.
20
So.
did grid, yes, sir.
Well, here's
We
the
had-
thing.
25 entries, but only 20 gridded.
I think and Brown, maybe you can say something about this. It's almost like two different races. So for the first 70 laps or so, it was super clean. And then I think the aggression kind of set in, and now we're starting to see some of that. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Well, Adam, I don't make predictions anymore.
Why?
Because every time I say something, it turns out it's true.
Yeah.
So I just speak facts. I don't speak predictions. But either way, we had some, like you said, we had some really great racing there in the first half. I think people realized how long 140 laps is here, and they just kind of wanted to make it through those opening stages. We're inside of 50 to go. We're inside of 30 to go now, as they're coming back down across the line and going to get regathered on up here. So it's time to turn up that dial. We saw it go from about a 3 or a 4. Now we're up to an 8 or a 9, and you can best be sure, probably within the next few laps, this thing's going to get turned up to 10 and then maybe an 11 here.
I love to see it get turned up to 11.
And it's turnt is spelled T-U-R-N-T.
Of course it is.
Turned.
Get turned and get learnt. That's what's going to happen here. Tell you what. A lot of talking and chatter with the race control, and
I gotta watch Spinal Tap now.
you've never seen it? I'm sure
This
you
is
have.
Spinal Tap? Oh, yeah, but it's been a long
Yeah,
time.
when that's
Talk
the
about
best
turning
line.
it to 11. I mean,
Yeah, that's the best
I gotta
line
wa-
in the whole movie.
I
It's
gotta
amazing.
watch it now.
Why is this speaker better? Because you can turn it to 11.
This freaking amplifier goes to 11.
So good.
Here we go. Pace truck's down.
Pace truck is down with the 39 and the 42 getting things started off here up at the front. Green flags waving, and away we go here once again. Green flag racing, under 30 laps to go here at Dover. The monster mile.
Four.
Oh no, the 4 Eric's Joy getting tossed and turned.
Jeez. Caused some other heartache on the track as well.
Oh, the 88 getting collected there as well. Let's go ahead and kind of take a look back. What happened here with the 4? Looks like the 44 trying to follow the 14 down and through turns 1 and 2. And the 44 just snagging that outside quarter panel of the 4, and the 1 getting tied up in it, the 34 getting tied up in it. I think even the 88 had something happen there as well.
Tiny bit of netcode too. I'm telling you, there was netcode involved. Just a touch. They were very close, but I don't think they actually touched, and that's terrible to see in the BK mowing machine Silverado of Eric Stoy. He get turned a little bit. I think it's not going to end his race by any means, but
And speaking of
he's
BK
got the
mowing,
sponsor. He's got the sponsor.
we
on his
got the
car.
sponsor. Speaking of BK mowing, be sure to give them a call at those phone numbers there on your screen. If you're in that Auburn, Indiana area and you need to get your yard mowed, I know you guys really didn't hear my intro, but man, it's the season to start mowing that grass, but all these allergies and all that pollen stuff, all that flying around, don't do it yourself. Get someone who knows how to do it and do it professionally. Do it for you to get your lawn looking the way you want it to, because BK Mowing, we mow it your way.
I wish they'd come.
I was hoping you guys would pick up
I
on
wish
that.
they. No, I'm trying to. I got a lot of things happening. I wish they'd come over here and mow mine. Yeah, like a sponsor friendly deal. Give me the special sponsor rate.
Yeah, same
BK
here. But
mowing. Yeah.
that's gotta be a haul for those guys, though.
Where they at?
Auburn, Indiana.
Indiana. They gotta come like.
Well, just
1,000
run the
miles.
rig down. Come on south. You can probably.
Yeah,
you
just
can
come on
mow.
down.
You can mow yards longer in the year down here. Come in the fall when it's frozen up there. We still have grass growing. So
Oh,
come on
yeah,
down.
that's right.
Yeah.
I was hoping you guys picked up on the whole BK and mow it your way kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
but
the
you're
Burger
right,
King
yeah,
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I do like how they did that. I hope
Keep
they don't get a
broiler.
copyright infringement.
Hey, you know,
Because
if I can run
we're-
for student council, you know, and I use the slogan, "What can Brown do for you?" Yeah, I think they'll be okay.
Did you win?
but,
I did not win,
Oh.
but that's
but that's
student council. These guys
that's
are
a
running
popularity
business.
contest, and I wasn't all that
It's not
popular.
about winning or losing, but it is.
But it is.
Sorry.
Hey, it's okay. Turned out I didn't have
Salt
enough
in the
time to do
wound.
anything anyway.
Yeah.
Mm.
But excuse me. Brian Torture
Yeah.
out there in chat as well, saying let's go David Wright. As he'll be back in action next week. Torture missing in action here tonight. Tower operator saying it's Team America time. And look at that, 42. Kevin Winker on up there. I know one of the Staten brothers got snagged up in that last little incident, but gonna try to make their way back on up and through here.
Yeah, but here's the thing. With Team America, they're a great team, but this is not really a team track. You know, they can't
True.
do a lot of drafting here. They can't block lanes here. They can't help their buddy as much. It doesn't mean they can't help each other, but it's a little different setup here at this 1 mile Dover track.
Still dump your enemies, though.
Yeah, like
You can.
yeah, they could dump one of the guys gunning for you. I mean,
Yeah, sure.
that's what I do. I'd do it for you and Brown.
I'd
I'd be
do it
like
to
the
you,
like
but
the
I would-
well, I know, but you know, like the hockey team has the guy that's always the goon,
Right,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'd be the goon and take your competition out.
Well, that's what we had Jimmy for whenever we would go invade other people's races.
Oh yeah, the hit squad.
Yeah.
There you go.
Had Jimmy leading the charge, just send it in there. Because you know when you're clear when you get a Jimmy clear.
Yeah. Was like clear, and then he would just come down. Oh, I thought I was clear. No, Jimmy, you were definitely not clear.
But he was Jimmy clear.
Jack White.
And that's all that matters. Speaking of getting cleared, here goes the... Oh my goodness, talk about a bump as that pace truck comes on down into pit lane. Man, that looked violent. Gonna check that suspension for damage here, iRacing, as the 39 and the 42 get all lined back up here. 25 now, 24 laps remain as we head on back here to green flag racing. The 39 of Josh Freed out in front. 42 Kevin Winker tucking into line. 64 Cale Turberville trying to keep his nose out of the chaos happening behind him here. Gets out in front, hanging on to third for right now. The 44 David Wright looking like he's back here on the hunt, trying to jump back on up here a few extra positions. The 7 and the 14 almost making contact, keeping it off each other as they go side by side back down across the line here. The 15 at Cody Staten sitting right there behind him, just waiting for a opportunity to maybe make a pass and make a run just as they clear out that 2 wide. Let's see if that 15 is able to dive on down there. Looks like not quite set up for it here, but getting a heck of a run out of the turn. Here he comes, trying to move around the 14, looking down low, getting that nose there. Looks like he will. So some great pre-planning there for the 15 machine.
And talking about opportunities, they're starting to run out. We're about to go to 21 to go. These guys are running out of opportunities here. It's time to start, pulling yourself up by your bootstraps and making something happen here. Even if it includes using the old chrome horn, as we like to say.
But I don't see a whole lot of chrome on these trucks no more there, buddy.
Well, back in the 80s and 90s, they still had bumpers on these trucks and cars. Oh, speaking of, Zachary Staten in the 88 spinning around about 20 times on the front stretch. He is stopped at the start-finish line. Yellow is out.
Somebody hit him with the chrome horn. Oh yeah, I hear
think
anger.
so.
I hear
bad.
anger.
Oh, that's I hate to say the NC word here again, but
Getting that code.
Oh, yeah, that was.
that's not a
No, that's not a crash. No doubt.
yeah. And then
88 jumped.
then this poor 16 really had nothing to do with any of it and just gets snagged up in it. But boy, that one's before
He
anybody.
wasn't even close to him.
Yeah.
They're side by side, and it pops Staten's tail end out. Like,
And-
they're a good 2 feet away visually. And I know Staten was upset, but he needs to rewatch that because Haas, the boss Beverly, wasn't even close to him. That was probably one of the worst cases in that code we've seen in a while, right there.
Yeah, that was
pretty
yeah. That was no bueno. That's chalk one up. Put the penalty on iRacing here, Mr. Newton. That one goes. The iRacing gets an EOL next week.
Sure.
Yeah, let's call them guys in Boston. Brian, you got connections up there in Boston. We're going to head to headquarters one day, AAA Broadcast, and we're going to demand a meeting with whoever we need to talk to. I don't know.
Yeah, let me just run down to Southie real quick, gather up some boys, and
Oh,
we'll
they're in
yeah.
Southie?
They'll
Oh, yeah, we get a
walk the
couple of
streets.
fellas with some baseball bats, and we'll just head on over. Demand a meeting.
baseball bets. We ain't
Some
that,
pipe hitting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, as we're walking down the street, we stop by whatever local construction sites there and pick up what's laying on the ground. That's about. We don't come prepared like that, there, Adam.
oh, we just got to pick it up on the ground?
Yeah, you pick it up on the way.
Oh, okay. Like, I'll grab a rock, like a big one, and then one of y'all grab some conduit, and then we'll get the real Southies to show us what the best items are to take. I like it. It's improvising.
Like looting?
No, we're not looting. They're just probably
Oh.
random trash in the streets of South Boston, I would assume.
Well, it ain't trash if you use it.
Yeah, reusable items.
It's
There you
recycling.
go. Yeah. I'm going to recycle this piece of conduit, use it as a weapon.
Sure.
We would never do that. We love iRacing, but some of the stuff they need to do, we'd love to have a conversation with them because we're ambassadors to iRacing. I would think we love iRacing,
100%.
but the net code in the trucks tends to be an issue. That one there was pretty bad. So whatever, it is what it is. We're still out here having fun.
Yeah, excuse me here for just a second.
Yeah, well,
Dang, I don't know if that was thunder or somebody's stereo
Mm.
going down the street.
might have been like a shots fired or something, you know.
Damn house shook. And it wasn't a train, so it was either a stereo or thunder. That's what we get in Louisiana.
No, see, tower operator Bruce. Listen,
Oh,
we're not.
What did Bruce have?
We're not ripping off the construction site. We wouldn't rip you off if you left
Yeah.
some of the stuff on the side by the street, like
It's
in
like
the walkway.
a gift. It's
Yeah,
a
we
gift.
just. Hey, you got like a couple pieces of conduit you're not using. I know you throw some scrap out in the trash. We'll just
Sure,
grab
yeah.
it. We're not going to go up to the site and take anything. No, that would be
No,
illegal.
Yeah, those dumpsters are free reign. It's it's
Mm-hmm.
once
Well,
when it's
they're
in there,
full of
it's like a
copper.
black hole. It's gone forever.
Yeah, we're not looking for copper. No, we're looking for weapons.
So Bruce is going to be watching for the guys, stealing copper out of the dumpster while we're cutting the catalytic converters off all his work trucks.
No,
Probably
no, no, we don't. No, we're not. We're not doing that.
No,
Man,
I'm
I
not
don't-
going to do that either.
Catalytic
I
converters.
just thought it was funny.
It is funny. Can you believe the people that steal those things? I'd like to just put them all
I don't understand how
in a
that's
hole
worth the trouble.
somewhere. Yeah, I've got a
Not
special
worth the
place
trouble.
with
It
a
can't be.
thief. It's worth the trouble to them. They get a quick fix. They get their money.
I can
Yes.
beat the shit out of him too.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. I'd love to. Here we go.
Here
Let's get this thing
we
going.
go indeed, as the 39 and the 64 getting restarted up here, up at the front. The 39 with a fantastic restart, leaving the 64 and the 44 to battle for that second place side by side. 44 getting in that position over the 64. We still have some great racing going on, though. Oh, as up into the wall goes the 7, beating and banging against that thing. That concrete's gonna win there, Brett, as he falls back a couple of spots there, tucks back in a line behind the 13 of Mark Beverly here. 13-15 battling it on out. David Wright and Cale Tuberville, though, they're not done with their little fight here up on side this podium as the 64 moves up underneath the 44 a little bit here, trying to get the run heading on down into turns 3 and 4, but that outside line looks like it's got just enough momentum coming out of these corners that it's not an easy thing for Cale to do, to just make the pass done.
That's a difficult place to be.
Ooh, it's the 44. Oh, man, he gets I don't know if there was a little contact or what, but the 44 reacted a little strange there, and he ends up getting shot up even higher than where he was. Almost gets up into that outside wall. 15 now of Cody Staten breathing down his neck. Same thing with the 13 of Mark Beverly. All the while, the 39 Josh Freed was looking in his rearview mirror like, yeah, but guys, keep it on up. Let me just keep driving away from y'all. Well, that's over with now. It's a 64 machine, like a freight train running away, trying to climb back on up to the 39.
Well, there are certain guys that are very, very comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. And you're seeing two of them right there, the 39 and the 64 drivers of Tuberville and Freed. These guys are in a class by themselves out there, running a second and a half in front of the rest of the field.
Yeah, but what a run by David Wright. One of the best Mets players that I've seen in the last couple of decades. In the 44, he's up 13 spots, so he's having a good run.
Biggest mover.
Yeah, biggest mover indeed up there, up 13 spots. Has a little work ahead of him here, as both Josh and Cale are about a second up the road. And Cale, man, he is just trying his best here to chase down that 39 machine. I wonder if the 39 might be kind of saw that gap kind of being built up, if he might have been trying to save a little bit of tires here.
Yeah, it's getting really, really frisky up here towards the front as, man, we're about to go, what, 7 to go? 6 to go? 8 to go? It's getting real.
Yeah, it is. It's the 42 to the 14 battle with the 13. Mark Beverly trying to creep their way on up here. Meanwhile, up at the very front, that 64 Chrome Klondike bar coming on up and through, trying to get the pass made here with 8 laps. Now going on to 7 laps, peeking up to the outside. The 39 blocks up there. He jumps down to the bottom side, throwing a little bit of a block down there, but not in time. The 64 bumper makes it. So side by side, racing for the lead, Frank Ranger. Boy, he must be shaking in his boots a little bit here as a bunch of angry drivers are filtering on up and through.
Well, here's something interesting. I don't know if we have enough time, but Winker is moving like a rocket ship. He's got fresher tires, quite a bit fresher tires. He's gaining on those guys up front, and he's sitting there in 5th. Keep an eye on him in the 42.
Now the 39 loses that lead spot. He might even lose the second spot here, as here comes that 44 after the 39 and 64 had a battle. 44 got back up here into the mix. Oh, the 39 gets kind of, I don't want to say hit because there was no contact, but kind of forced up there into the outside wall, scrubbing a whole chunk of speed. And he's now trying to hang on into 3rd, as here comes Cody Staten and Kevin Winker battling side by side. Looks like for right now, the 15 of Staten holding on to that 4th place position, but the 42 Kevin Winker trying to set him up for a pass here with 4 laps remaining. Out in the front is the 64 of Tuberville with the 44 of David Wright close in tow, as the 42 makes his move there on the 15, sliding on up into 4th. You best be sure those two guys aren't done yet. And plus, they're catching on up to the 39 of Freed, who might have had, with that wall contact, got a little bit of damage. He might be running a little bit slow here, as he's kind of trickled off the pace just a little bit. Here comes that 42 up underneath the 39. He makes it on clear. The 15 trying to do the same thing. Doesn't quite get clear, as we now have 3 laps to go, coming back down across into the line. Gonna be 2 laps remaining. The 44 and the 64 having a pretty good battle here up at the front, down into turns 1 and 2.
These guys are fighting tooth and nail all the way to the end. And here we go. We're about to see the end.
And that we do, coming on down through turns 3 and 4. The 44 draped all over the 64 like a blanket. Oh, and he snags the outside wall, pushing that truck to its limits as they come back down across the line, taking the white flag. The 64 has a little bit of breathing room. Does the 44 have anything left in those tires, left in that tank, as the 64 machine comes on down through turns 3 and 4, free and clear. Cale Turbeville in the Klondike machine picking up the race win. 44 here in second, and the 42 coming home in third.
Man. Yeah, Kevin Winker, if he had 5 more laps, I think he could have gotten up there. But, man, what a run. Good ending to this one.
That indeed. And a heartbreak there for that 39. Josh Reed had ran a fantastic race all race long, and he's looking. He looks to try to get the win here tonight, but unfortunate events there for him. Brett Sommers there as well. The Beverleys, they got caught up in some stuff, and goodness gracious, whole bunch of just beating and banging here. We were right, you know, the race might have started off at a 3 or a 4, but man, we finished on an 11.
I think we did. I think you're right on that one. The intensity definitely did ramp up towards the end, and great finish by these guys. And yeah, a little bit surprising that Josh Freed dropped so many spots there towards the end. I don't know if that was a tire strategy deal or what happened there with Josh in the 39 truck, but hopefully we'll see him do a little bit better next week. But still a top 5 nonetheless. Great job by him.
Yeah, that's a long race. A lot of tough laps put in. You know, two different races, really. You had a real clean first half and kind of a little bit of a dirtied up second half, but it still was a fun race nonetheless.
And that indeed it was. As we go ahead and run on down here onto our podium drivers, and we get things started on off with our 3rd place finisher here tonight, and that is going to be the captain of Team America himself, the 42 of Kevin Winker, having a pretty quiet day up there until the end, making a few good passes here to find yourself up onto that podium. But for the most part, you and Team America, I know Zach had a little bit of an issue back there, but you guys kind of just kept out of the noise, kept out of the chaos. The first run went pretty clean for y'all, and next thing you know, you find yourselves fighting for some good podium spots.
Yeah, I kind of knew with the tire sets to try to get off strategy there, and that's exactly what I did. Obviously, went green there the first, 70 laps, and then caution came out like 20 after that, so I stayed out, kind of got off strategy there, and then 20 to go, another caution came out, took my last set, and worked my way up there. I think if I would have had maybe 5 more laps, maybe I could have got to him, but I mean, Kale was the truck or class of the field tonight. Freed was up there, so I don't know if I had anything for Kale, but overall, I mean, I'll take a P3. I probably should have finished 7th or 8th, but sometimes you just gotta have the strategy and you get yourself a good finish.
Well, like it or hate it, Nashville is next week. What kind of strategy you looking at with you and your team for next week's race?
Well, you know I can't give that away, but yeah, I haven't really thought about that. I've ran there quite a bit the last couple months. I know Josh is pretty good there. He should be back next week, so we'll just have to see how cautions fall, lap counts, tire sets, all that. Haven't really thought about it, but that's a fun track too, so it should be another exciting race.
Yeah, you almost had it there. A few more laps or a caution, I think, with those newer tires, you would have really got them. But good job tonight. You're on the podium. Who would you like to give some shout-outs to?
Yeah, first as always, you guys know Bruce Muehlberger Custom Homes. Can't thank him enough for coming aboard, sponsoring me, sponsoring the team. So can't thank him enough. Nate Cogdale at Sonic Graphic Design for the killer paint. Can't thank him enough for making me a paint and allowing me to run it. So shout out to him. Shout out to Team America as always. Josh couldn't make it again tonight, so he's kind of a rough season. But shout out to the rest of the team, Zach and Cody. I know Zach had some troubles, but I think Cody got fourth or fifth. So good night for us. And all my friends and family that are watching, Shauna, Brett, Nicole, Justin, Brandon, Dylan, all Winker Nation. Can't thank you guys enough for supporting me and being out there. The league for putting this on. Newton for being race control. Without him, we couldn't really do anything. I mean, we could, but it wouldn't be run clean. So shout out to him. Shout out to Greg for putting the league on. And then last shout out for you guys for putting on the broadcast. We appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Well, great job out there. 42 of Kevin Winker, your third place finisher here tonight, man. Congratulations. Good luck next week, and good luck the rest of the season here, buddy.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
With that, we'll move on up to our second place finisher, a driver we have already talked to today, and it seemed to have worked out pretty well for him. That 44 machine of Mr. David Wright, up 14 spots, your hard charger of the day. Man, that kind of saving strategy looked like it definitely worked out, but then a few kind of cautions here in the second half might have kind of screwed that strategy up for you, David, but still a pretty dang good run battling with Kale here down the stretch.
Yeah, I can't complain. I really messed up qualifying, so I kind of had to start towards the middle of the pack, towards the rear. I had to work my way through that, and yeah, those cautions did kind of hamper my plan, but overall, good run. Kale ran me up the track there at the end, and was discussing that with him in the waiting room, and he said he didn't think he did. I said, yeah, you ran me up the track, but it's a short track. That's okay. I just couldn't get to him to do it at the end. I was going to do the same thing, take the win. But overall, good racing, clean racing up front. It was tough there at the end. Had some guys on older tires, and they were able to hold off for quite a while. So, but still, good run overall for everybody up front. I thought the racing really good up front, really clean.
Yeah, and you had one of the cleanest trucks out there today, and it was great watching you work that tire strategy, and great job out there today. Nashville coming up next week. You got any thoughts on that before we let you go?
That's not one of my better tracks so far.
Mine either.
So I'm still kind of trying to figure that out. Everybody has tracks that just come to them. They just automatically get, and some they don't. For whatever reason, this track I get. I don't know why, but I do. So, but we'll give it a run and see what happens. But that's racing. You just never know.
That's right. That's why you're out there. You're up 14 spots. A great run. It was pretty fun to watch. There's a little bit of difference in the first half to the second half. You survived it all. Good job tonight. And who would you like to give some shout outs to?
Well, I always give a shout out to, the league and to y'all in the booth. Those guys, Race Control, y'all do what you do so we get to come down here and play. So that's always greatly appreciated. So other than that, my teammate couldn't make it tonight. He's camping in the woods. And I told him, I said, that camper's got to get bigger. It ain't big enough for your racing rig. So told him he's going to start carrying it with him.
That would be glamping, wouldn't it? Is it?
Well, with Starlink, SpaceX, whatever their internet. I mean, you can get internet anywhere anymore. Byron Torch couldn't make it tonight, so shout out to him, Prestige, and again, everybody up there in the booth, Race Control, and the league puts this stuff on so we can have a good time, come down here and play.
Yes, sir, indeed. Well, heck of a job done out there for that 44 machine. Mr. David Wright, your hard charger of the race and second place podium finisher, man. Congratulations. Good luck next week, and good luck the rest of the season here, buddy.
Thank y'all very much.
As we move on up to tonight's race winner, And it's a man who had to call his mama to make sure everything's up and running for him when he gets home. Mr. Cale Turbeville finds his way down there onto victory lane. And man, congratulations, Cale. Tough fought, tough win. But how many practice laps did you actually get in versus how many do you think you got in?
Oh, I feel like I got like 100 and something, but I only did like 70. But it wasn't enough. I was nowhere near prepared enough. Reed was in a whole nother time zone. He was in the next leap year for me. He was. I had absolutely nothing for him. I just got really lucky. Whenever he come in, I think it was on like lap 91 for caution. I knew he was getting tires. I knew right from then what I needed to do. But wow, that was hectic. Very, very hectic.
I don't think you give yourself enough credit. I mean, you say luck had a lot to do with it. I don't think luck had much of anything to do with it. It's about race preparation. And Big Donnie says, ask Cale how much he actually practiced. And, hey, man, that's part of it is putting it in, finding the lines. Where does it run when it's hot? Where does it run when the track's cool, what can you do out there in traffic? So, what was really the key out there here today?
Really, it really just came down to strategy at the end. I mean, whenever he pitted, I didn't think he was going to be able to make it in on the rest of the way on fuel, but the cautions kept coming. I figured he was going to make it on fuel, but I figured I'd need to get him on tires, and even him having 20-something lap old tire older than mine, he was still tough to beat, but I just played my cards right and knew when to hold them and knew when to fold them, and it worked out in my favor.
Yeah, just gave us a Kenny Rogers line. Very nice. Number one tonight, Dover. You had a heck of a run. Nashville's next week. I don't think you need to worry about that right now since you put this thing on the back burner as the champion here at Dover. Who would you like to give some shout outs to?
I'd like to thank everybody that's watching, my mama, my daddy, y'all for doing such a great job in the booth. Everybody tonight that was racing, I'm glad to see the amount of cars we had out tonight. It was a fun, hectic race, but I wouldn't change it. And HCK, Mr. Michael, for doing a great job with the race control. Everybody that makes this possible.
Awesome job, man. Well, of course he wouldn't change nothing. Walking away on that top step here, your race winner, 64 Klondike machine, Mr. Cale Turbeville, man. Congratulations picking up that race win. We'll see you all back in action here next week, and good luck the rest of the season here, buddy.
Yes, sir. Maybe I'll see you then.
Yes, sir, indeed. As we start to close things down here from Delaware, and man, it started off a little slow, but it was good. Nice way to ease into it. But boys, we didn't get eased into it for very much longer. About halfway there, things really got turned on up.
Yeah, they did. They got cranked up to, what did we say? Cranked up to 11? Cranked up to 14? Something like that.
I just crank it all the way up.
But yeah, man, this track is brutal. It really separates the men from the boys, and all the guys out here did a great job negotiating this thing. 14 trucks on the lead lap is what officially came about here when everybody got done. So great job for these guys to out there and keep it competitive throughout the race. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was great race. Really fun to watch.
And that indeed. As we go ahead and take a look here tonight at our official race rundown, where all these fans find out where their favorite driver ended up finishing here tonight. And that starts us off with that 64 Cale Turbeville picking up the race win. 44, Mr. David Wright, up 14 spots, your hard charger of the day, able to pick up a solid podium second place finish there for him. 42, Kevin Winker was looking like he could have chased him down here as well if there was only a few more laps left, but just kind of ran out of time. But 42 machine up on the podium steps there in third. The 15, Cody Staten had a solid run here tonight as well, finishing here tonight in fourth. I know the 39, Josh Freed, wish he could have had a couple things on back here later on down the stretch, but he finds himself up there inside that top 5 with a solid finish there as well. 7 of Brett Somers got beaten, banged, battered, and bruised. Finds himself up there in the 6th, however, so a solid run there for Brett. 13 of Mark Beverly. He was getting beat up as well. Same thing with Haas Beverly there in the 22 machine. Both Beverly guys having a huge battle there, as the 13 finishes in 7th and the 22 there in 8th. The 1 of Nate Cogdell, your guy that started up there on pole position, man, he wasn't up there for very long. Ends up moving on backwards through the field and still manages to find his way to a top 10 9th place finish, with the 5 of Stephen Naylor running out tonight's top 10.
Yeah, the 41 of Neil Lapidus finishes in 11th place. 12th place will be Randy Lapidus in the 14 machine. The 34 of Jesse Calloway finishes in 13th place, up 7 spots. Eric Stoy in the 4 machine will finish in 14th. 15th will be Zachary Staten in the 88. J.A. Burton in the 26 machine will finish in 16th place. 17th, Frank Ranger in the 17 had a little bit of trouble there late. Nick Gardner in the 16 will finish in 18th place. 19th, 37 laps down, Jake Bunjo in the 86. The 45 of Tyler Beverly will finish in 20th.
And I believe that's all the guys that did start here tonight. And of course, Michael Newton there, your race controller. As always, we thank you all for tuning in and watching and having a great time here with us. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell, as you guys are the reason why we're up and over 350 subscribers. We thank you all so much for that, and we're getting started here. Gonna be 5 nights a week, so don't miss out on any of the great racing action that we have to bring you. And alongside of that, man, if you like any of it, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, so that way, you know, freaking Zuckerberg there, man, he just stops putting Adam in a corner, because nobody wants to put Adam in a corner. As always, though, we also have to say a huge thank you to our partners over here at HCK Beagles Racing League, like BK Mowing, where they mow it your way. Be sure to go check them on out if you're over there in the Auburn, Indiana area, and they can get your yard all looking spiff and span. Also, go and check out Abruzzi Racewear. Fantastic racing gear. Be sure to go check them on out. Big fan of TrackDogsRacing.com here as well. All your HCK Beagles Racing League merchandise and AAA broadcasting merchandise out there on their shop as well. So thank you, TrackDogsRacing.com. Big thank you to Chiefland RC Raceway. Go check them on out if you're in the Florida area and you like to do those RC race cars and all that kind of stuff. Man, that's I've done a little bit of it. Man, it is an absolute blast, and it's a lot cheaper than racing real life. I'll tell you that. For all the broken parts that you can possibly get, it's a lot better replacing a suspension for $5 rather than replacing a suspension for $500. Let me tell you. But either way, big thank you to Chiefland RC Raceway down there. Be sure to go check them on out. Of course, big thank you to Sonic Graphic Design here as well. Fantastic job done by painting some of these trucks out here. And the proud sponsor of the replay cameras. Thank you, Sonic Graphic Design. And of course, big time thank you to AdminBoxx, your premier button box for admin solutions. Man, that thing definitely got to work out a little bit here at the end of this one today, but man, some fantastic products over there, so be sure to go and check out AdminBoxx. So with that, we close things on down. Tomorrow night, we are live with the Vigilante Racing League All-Star Race, coming at you live from North Wilkesboro, so definitely stay on tune for that one. No points, but only pride and maybe a little bit of money is on the line for that one, so it's going to be a fun time indeed. And then Friday night, we're starting up a super late model series there with the Nung Thumbs Racing League, so be sure to stay tuned to that one. But until tomorrow night, I'm Alan Brown for Alan English and Adam Turner. We're signing on off.
We gone.
See ya.